Happy Sabbath to the Most High and happy Sabbath, Hebrews. This is Brother Judah Israel, and I have another message for the listening ears of Yah's people. And I must say, family, it is very, very interesting, called the supernatural blessings of Yah. And I noticed that I didn't get a whole lot of love in the community when I posted this, the supernatural blessings of Yah. Supernatural blessings of Yah. I figure people didn't show any love in the community when I posted that because a lot of people probably don't understand what it's all about, and I will help you to understand what some of the supernatural blessings of Yah is all about in the scriptures. I'll be reading from the book of Jubilees and out of the 66. Okay, it's nothing to do with the things in this world, the natural stuff in this world, because everything in this world, family, is eventually going to pass away. It's all temporary. So the supernatural blessings of Yah is not about the materialistic things in this world. So let me just get that out. And before I go into the message, I just want to help to clarify some things about some of the stuff that Hebrews are teaching online on YouTube. And the word of Yah says, how beautiful is the feet of brethren when we operate in unity. Okay, now there's one, and I don't mean anything bad about this particular individual. I don't even know him. I'm not going to say the name of his channel, but he's very, very popular, and I don't want people who follow me to be confused by listening to what somebody else say as opposed to what I share from the word of Yah. Okay, now I saw some stuff last night on YouTube, and this individual was saying, like, because they have found evidence over here in the Americas that our people were the first people to ever come here, and it actually says in the Apocrypha that once our people gained their freedom out of Assyria, that they migrated to the land of Azareth, which is over here in the Americas, and it took them a year and a half. And it said they migrated to a land where no man had ever been before. So our people were the first people to come here, but it was the 10 tribes that came here first. The northern 10 tribes of Israel had come here first. Okay, but Judah and Levi was not a part of that 10. So the other 2 tribes of Israel were still in the land of Israel, and they weren't scattered out of that land, the land of Israel, the southern kingdom, which was called Judah, made up of Judah and the tribe of Levi. They wasn't scattered out of the land until 70 AD by General Titus. Okay, and hundreds of thousands of them did flee into Africa. I'm not saying that our people wasn't the first people to be in this land, but the brother was trying to say that our people never did come from Africa to the Americas on slave ships. He was trying to say that we were all here. And he was trying to debunk the fact that, it is stated in history that some of our ancestors did leave the western coast of Africa and come to America on slave ships. So he was trying to debunk that. Don't get it twisted, because the word of Yah says that the kingdom of Judah, the southern kingdom of Israel, made up of Judah and Levi, will be scattered worldwide to the 4 corners of the earth. And you can find that in Isaiah chapter 11, verse 12. It also can be found in 2 Kings chapter 25, verse 1, and then in verse 11. And then 1 Nephi, this is a book in the Book of Mormon, in chapter 10, verse 3. So the kingdom of Judah, the southern kingdom of Israel, was actually scattered in all the parts of the world. So Judah was scattered. So some of my people did come to the Americas from slave ships. Otherwise, you're calling Yah a lie, because this came from the word of Yah. These scriptures I just read off, they came from the word of Yah. Okay, and also it says that his people will be taken in bondage again, which Egypt is another name for bondage, by slave ships, by ships. And that can be found in Deuteronomy chapter 28 at verse 68. So to try to debunk that all of our people were actually here before anybody else. 10 tribes were. The northern 10 tribes came here before anybody else did. But the tribe of Judah and Benjamin was scattered into all the earth. And so all of Judah is not in America today. Some of the tribe of Judah are in South Africa still. Some of the tribe of Judah is in Ethiopia still, and different parts of the continent of Africa. Some of the tribes of Judah are still there because Yah told Moses that he was going to scatter his people into all nations on the earth. So to try to debunk and say that we didn't come, some of our people didn't come off the western coast of Africa into America off slave ship, is to call Yah a lie. So I made a comment on some of his stuff last night, say, be careful, brother. You're calling Yah a lie if you're saying none of us came to this country, our ancestors came to this country off of slave ships, because it's clearly stated in the word that Yah said that he would send his people into the bondage of slavery, Egypt, from ships. So that could be found, like I said, in Deuteronomy 28:68. So please, family, if you follow my channel, and I appreciate all of my subscribers and I appreciate all of my viewers of my material that I get from the word of Yah. Yah is just using me to feed his sheep, to say what thus says the Adonai. Okay? So, and then somebody posted in the community under one of something that I had posted. His comment was like a book. And of course, I didn't read all of it. I read part of it, and it was saying, you know, we are Israelites. We Negroes are all Israelites, Hebrews, but we are not. He said, we're not Hebrews. We're Israelites, but we're not Hebrews. So I didn't even address that. You know, I don't want people trying to confuse the people who follow my channel. Okay, how can we be Israelites and not Hebrews? The Most High started everything with our ancestor Abraham. He was the first Hebrew. That could be found in Genesis. He was the first one to be called a Hebrew. And his grandson, whose name was Jacob, Yah changed it from Jacob to Israel. So all of us who are the offspring of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob changed, and Jacob's name was changed from Jacob to Israel. We're all Israelites, but by blood, we are Hebrews. It's just so, you know, so I just got rid of, you know, it's like I said, because he commented a whole book. I wasn't going to read all that. But the first part said that we're Israelites, but not Hebrews. So how can we be Israelites and not Hebrews? Okay, family. Before I get started in reading out of the word of Yah, I'd just like to say, please keep Yah's 10 commandments found in Exodus chapter 20, verse 1 through 17. And also Messiah says in John chapter 14, verse 15, if you love me, keep my commandments. And I'll be first reading out of the book of Jubilees with this message. And family, please view the whole video because it's very, very interesting. Okay. Book of Jubilees, chapter 2, verses 18 to 33. Please understand what our Father is saying. Supernatural blessings of Yah, family. First, we need to understand what is something that's supernatural. Okay? So we understand what the supernatural is. Okay? Supernatural, above, beyond, and far higher and greater than the natural. Okay? Supernatural, above, beyond, and far greater than the natural. So the supernatural things are from Yah. Okay, the supernatural blessings of Yah. It has nothing to do with materialistic stuff in this world, because everything in this world is passing away. This is Satan's kingdom. So the supernatural blessings that Yah has for his people is from our Father Yah. Okay, Book of Jubilees, chapter 2, verse 18 to 33. And it says here, and all the messengers of the presence and all the messengers of sanctification, these two great classes he has hidden us to keep the Sabbath with him in the heavens and on earth. So those who are in heaven are also keeping the Sabbath. Okay, and this is what Yah wants his children to do. Okay, and he said to us, behold, I will separate a people to myself from among all the people, and these will keep the Sabbath day, and I will sanctify them to myself as my people, and will bless them. And I have sanctified the Sabbath day and sanctified it to myself, even so will I bless them, him down as my firstborn son, and have sanctified him to myself forever and ever. And I will teach them the Sabbath day, that they may keep the Sabbath thereon from all work. And thus he created therein a sign in accordance with which they should keep Sabbath with us on the seventh day. With us, meaning those who are already in heaven, the angels and Elohim, okay? Okay? To eat and to drink and to bless him who has created all things, as he has blessed and sanctified to himself a peculiar people above all peoples. You got a lot of people who get really offended when some of our Hebrew people be out there in the public teaching, saying that who we are as a people. And a lot of people get offended, they get jealous. Our people, we're only stating who we are. We're not the lies, those bywords that people claim we were for decades. And so a lot of people get offended because we're telling the world we're Hebrews and we're Israelites. But we're only saying what the Most High said who we are. This is what the Most High called us. He says, he has blessed and sanctified to himself a peculiar people above all peoples, and that they should keep Sabbath together with us. And he caused his commands to ascend as a sweet savor, acceptable before him in all the days. Okay, so verse 23. There were 22 heads of mankind from Adam to Jacob, and 22 kinds of work were made until the seventh day. This is blessed and holy, and the former is also blessed and holy, and this one serves with that one for sanctification and blessing. And to these, Jacob and his seed, us Hebrews around the world, okay, that the world called Negroes, it was granted that they should always be the blessed and holy ones of the first testimony and law, even as he had sanctified and blessed the Sabbath day on the seventh day. He created the heavens and the earth and everything that he created in 6 days, and Elohim made the seventh day holy for all his work. Therefore he commanded on its behalf that whosoever does any work thereon will die, and that he who defiles it will surely die. For that reason, command the sons of Israel to observe this day, that they may keep it holy, and not to do any work thereon, and not to defile it. And it is holier than all other days. So the Most High is the one called us a special, peculiar people above all other peoples on the earth. The Most High chose us. We didn't choose ourselves. We didn't choose to start calling ourselves Hebrews and Israelites on our own accord. No, this is who the Most High said that we are. His people, chosen above all other peoples on the face of the earth, a peculiar people above all other people on the face of the earth. And we are to keep the Sabbath, the people that he chose. So we were chosen by Yah. We're not making false claims on our own accord. We're only repeating what our Father has told us in his word. So if you get offended because we are saying it, your offense is against the Most High, because it all started from him. Okay. For that reason, command the sons of Israel to observe that day, that they may keep it holy and not do any work thereon, and not defile it, as it is holier than all other days. Okay. And whoever profanes it will surely die, and whoever does any work thereon will surely die forever. That the sons of Israel may observe this day throughout the generations and not be rooted out of the land. See, it's one thing to be chosen by Yah as he chose our people above all other peoples on the earth. But see, there's a certain way that he wants us to live and to keep his commandments and keep that fourth commandment, the Sabbath day, holy. Don't do no work on it. Don't do your own things on it. Rest. And so to violate and disregard what the Most High has told us, which is what our ancestors did, and we are still the offspring suffering the punishment of their ill-advised decisions centuries ago. So yes, he chose us as his people, a peculiar people above all the peoples on the earth. But when Yah does something like that, you have to obey him because he is holy and he's righteous and he don't tolerate sin. So that's the catch, it's like because our people fail and didn't keep his covenant, we got cursed and scattered throughout the world into all nations. Okay, and the word of Yah says judgment starts at the house of Israel. That's why when we mess up, us Hebrews, we get the book thrown at us by man-made laws and stuff, and we get it really hard. And somebody from the other nations can commit the same offense and get patted on the wrist. But we, Hebrews, they throw the book at us, because the word of Yah says judgment starts at the house of Israel. And when the Messiah comes back, our oppression ends and their judgment begins, those who have been oppressing his people. That's all in the scriptures. Judgment started at the house of Israel. So we are suffering our punishment now, still being under all the nations in this world. But when Yah comes, our oppression ends and theirs begins. Okay? For it is a holy day and a blessed day, and everyone who observes it and keeps the Sabbath thereon from all his work will be holy and blessed throughout all the days, like us, like those who are in heaven. Okay? Declare and say to the sons of Israel the law of this day. Both they should keep the Sabbath thereon, and they should not forsake it in the error of their hearts, and that it is not lawful to do any work thereon, which is unseemly, to do their own pleasure thereon, and that they should not profane, and they should not prepare anything thereon to be eaten or drunk, and that it is not lawful to draw water or bring or take out thereon through thy gates any burden which they had not prepared for themselves on the sixth day in their dwellings. And this is what our Father told our ancestors, and it still applies to the offspring because it says from generation to generation. This is one way that we will be recognized as Yah's people, not only by the curses of losing our heritage, which is our land and our identity. Okay, those are just two, but keeping the Sabbath. And now he's waking us up again, and a lot of us are coming back to the commandments and keeping his Sabbath, that fourth commandment, holy. And so he said this is what was going to happen in the end times. In the lands of their captives, they will begin to remember themselves because he's the one that's waking us up. That valley of dry bones in Deuteronomy, Leviticus 37, I want to say. Okay, verse 30. And they will not bring in nor take out from house to house on that day, for that day is more holy and blessed than any Jubilee day of Jubilees. On this we kept Sabbath in the heavens before it was made known to any flesh to keep Sabbath thereon on the earth. They were already keeping it in heaven. Okay? And the creator of all things blessed it, but he did not sanctify all peoples and nations to keep the Sabbath thereon. But Israel alone, them alone, he permitted to eat and drink and to keep the Sabbath thereon on the earth. The Israelites, the Hebrews, people, these are the words of Yah. We're not saying these types of things on our own accord. This is what the word of Yah says. This is what our Father says. And if you go against it, you're rebelling against Yah, and that is very dangerous. You'll lose salvation if you don't join into this thing with the Hebrews. That's the only way people from the nations can be a part of this, as they join with Yah's chosen people and follow his commandments and keep them and keep the Sabbath day holy. You can't come in and try to kick Yah's chosen people aside, even though we're under the curses. The people from other nations, you can't come in like that, because he started with our people. He says up here that he has blessed and sanctified to himself a peculiar people above all peoples, and that they should keep the Sabbath together with us. So Yah's the one chose us, and the other nations of the world can join with us in keeping Yah's commandments. Okay, but you can't come over us, because Yah started with us. There's order in the things of Yah. So people who are trying to do it that way, it's all in vain. It is all in vain. Okay, and the creator of all things blessed this day, which he had created for a blessing and sanctification and of glory above all days. This law and testimony was given to the sons of Israel as a law forever to their generations. Supernatural blessings of Yah, family. It is a supernatural blessing from Yah that he chose our people out of all the other peoples on the earth. That's a supernatural blessing, family. These are the supernatural blessings that are from the words of Yah that I want to share with the listening ears of Yah's people. It has nothing to do with this materialistic stuff. A new house, a new car. Satan can get you those things. All you got to do is bow down to him. But all that stuff will eventually pass away. But the supernatural blessings of Yah are eternal. We are eternal. We are eternally his chosen people. That ain't going to change. But we must keep his commandments. And what's going to coincide with what came out of the book of Jubilee, family? Okay, it coincides right with the 66. I'm going to turn over here to the book of Revelation, chapter 22, verse 14. And it says this: Blessed are they that do his commandments, that they may have a right to the tree of life and may enter in through the gates into the city. If we keep those commandments and keep the Sabbath day holy. You got a lot of people who love the idea of saying they belong to Yah, and they say they love Yah, but will you be obedient to what Yah has told his people? He told us to keep his commandment and keep that Sabbath day holy. Okay? So this is going to be the determining factor if you get into the gates, into the city, to be able to eat off that tree. I'll read it again. Blessed are they that do his commandments, that they may have right to the tree of life and may enter in through the gates into the city. Revelation chapter 22, verse 14. We must keep his commandments if we want to enter in through the gates into the kingdom and eat off the tree of life. Keep them commandments, family. Do you love Yah enough to keep his Sabbath day holy by not doing your own thing? You can't be out washing your car on Saturday until sunset. You can't be out shopping to say we have not to do our own thing. Out transacting business with money and stuff like that. All of that stuff is supposed to cease during the Sabbath. Okay, sunset Friday to sunset Saturday. Okay, and a lot of people don't understand why the nations fear us. Why the nations fear us. And some of them said, I fear black people. We are Hebrews, okay? Israelites. That is our nationality, okay? But a lot of people say they fear us. And they don't understand why. But let me help you to understand that this fear that they experience, this fear that they have, it is also from Yah. They fear us because we belong to Yah. Okay, I'll be turning over to the book of Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 9 and 10. And it says, The Adonai shall establish thee a holy people unto himself, as he has sworn unto thee. if thou shalt keep the commandments of the Adonai, thy Elohim, and walk in his ways. And all the people of the earth shall see that thou art called by the name of thy Adonai, and they shall be afraid of thee. See, people are afraid of us because this is what Yah put on us. And he put the fear, of Yah in them to be afraid of us. So they're afraid of us because this is what Yah has done to them, because of who we are. This is one of the signs to show that who we are as a people. When other people of the world, other nations, not just Gentiles, the other nations fear us too, because we belong to Yah. And all people of the earth shall see that thou art called by the name of the Adonai, and they shall be afraid of thee. Okay, so they fear us because we belong to Yah. And to just bring it home, I have another scripture in Deuteronomy. Deuteronomy chapter 2. Deuteronomy chapter 2, verse 25. And it says, this day will I begin to put the dread of thee and the fear of thee upon the nations that are under the whole heaven. Who shall hear report of thee and shall tremble and be in anguish because of thee? So the people of other nations, they fear us because we belong to Yah. And this is what he has done. To this day I will begin to put the dread of thee and the fear of thee upon the nations that are under the whole heaven. Who shall hear report of thee and shall tremble and be in anguish because of thee? This is what he did for our ancestors as they came out of Egypt. And it also applies to all the generations, because before I started reading this information out of Yah's word, I didn't understand why, other people would fear us like they do. But now I understand, it's because who we are Yah's chosen people. And that fear, Yah said that the nations under the whole heaven will fear you. So they fear us because we belong to our Father. But it's a very, it could be very dangerous when other people fear us. Because when people fear you, you make people so afraid of you, they will take your life. I remember back in Indiana years ago when I was about 25 years old, and one of my sisters was hanging out, my second oldest sister, so she was about 35. And I came around her area one day when she was hanging out at, and she said, "Oh, here go my brother. Yeah, y'all better look out now. Yeah, my brother, he on the scene now." Then I pulled her to the side. I said, "Hey, sis, I just came down here to hang out with you, sing a couple of songs like we always do." I said, "But you fast talking me in front of all these people." I said, "You making them afraid of me. You're putting fear in their hearts. And when people are afraid of you, they will kill you." I said, "So sis, please take it easy." And she busted out laughing. I said, "Okay, I ain't packing." You know what I'm saying? I didn't come down here packing no heat. So please don't put the fear, in these people's heart by telling them, be aware of me and all that kind of stuff. No, I ain't come down there for that. I just came down here to visit you and have a good time with you. I don't want nobody being afraid of me. So she understood and she didn't do that no more. Okay, 2 Samuel's 23, verses 8 to 23. Supernatural blessings of Yah. Second Samuel's. What's the name? 2 Samuel's. Two Samuel's 23, 8 to 23. Okay, now, family, I know we all have heard about, Samson, from the tribe of Dan. He's also an Israelite, a Hebrew from the tribe of Dan. His strength, he was physically strong. And the word of Yah says that he slew 1,000 Philistines with the jawbone of a donkey. We all know about the power of Samson. Okay, but there were other men from the tribes who also, was blessed with physical ability. And this is what Yahweh gave our ancestors when they came out of Egypt. When Moses picked out uh, the 12 from one from each tribe to go spy out the land of Canaan for 40 days. And they came back, 10 came back with a bad report, all but Joshua and Caleb. And so by them coming back with a bad report, they put the fear in the hearts of all the 12 tribes. And the Most High was not pleased with that. So because they was out spying the land of Canaan 40 days, he punished them by making them wander in the wilderness for 40 years. So a year for each day that they were spying out the land of Canaan, coming back with a bad report, putting the fear in the rest of the tribes of Israel. Okay, that's all they had to do was trust him. He brought them out of Egypt. He displayed those 10 plagues, but they still was down. So, but Caleb and Joshua had faith, and they made it into the promised land. Okay, with the younger generation. Okay, now this is talking about supernatural blessings of Yah. Okay, now here's 2 Samuel 23, verse 8 to 23. And this is talking about the mighty men of King David. These be the names of the mighty men whom David had. The Tachmonite that sat in the seat chief amongst the captains. The same was Adino the Eznite. He lifted up his spear against 800, whom he slew at one time. One man slew 800 because Yah was with David and his men and his people. And after him was Eleazar, the son of Dodo, the Ahoite, one of the 3 mighty men with David. When they defiled the Philistines that were there gathered together to battle, and the men of Israel were gone away, he arose and smote the Philistines until his hand was weary, and his hand clave unto the sword. And the Adonai wrought a great victory with that day, and the people returned after him only to spoil. And after him was Shammah, the son of Agi, the Hararite, and the Philistines were gathered together in a troop. Where was a piece of ground full of lentils, and the people fled from the Philistines. But he stood in the midst of the ground and defended it, and slew the Philistines, and the Adonai wrought a great victory. Okay, and 3 of the 30 chief went down and came to David in the harvest time unto the cave at Adullam, and the troop of the Philistines pitched in the valley of Rephaim. And David was then in an hold, and the garrison of the Philistines was there in Bethlehem. And David longed and said, "Oh, that one would give me drink of the water of the well of Bethlehem, which is in the gate." And the 3 mighty men brake through the host of the Philistines and drew water out of the well of Bethlehem that was by the gate, and took it and brought it to David. Nevertheless, he would not drink thereon, but poured it out unto the Adonai. And he said, "Be it far from me, O Adonai, that I should do this. Is not this the blood of the men that went in jeopardy of their lives?" Therefore he would not drink it. These things did these 3 mighty men. And Abishai, the brother of Joab, the son of Zeruiah, was chief among the 3. And he lifted up his spear against 300 and slew them, and had the name among 3. This other mighty man of David, Zeruiah, was the chief among the 3, and he lifted up his spear against 300 and slew them, and had the name among the 3. So another man here, another mighty man of David, slew 300 men by himself in battle. Was he not most honorable of thee, of the three? Therefore he was their captain, howbeit he attained not unto the first three. And now the son of Jehoiada, the son of a valiant man of Kabzeel, who had done many acts, he slew 2 lion-like men of Moab. He went down also and slew a lion in the midst of a pit in time of snow. Went down into a pit with a lion and killed it. The mighty man of King David, because Yah was with our people. Okay, and he slew an Egyptian, a goodly man, and the Egyptian had a spear in his hand, but he went down to him with a staff and plucked the spear out of the Egyptian's hand and slew him with his own spear. These things did Benaiah the son of Jehoiada, and had the name among the 3 mighty men. He was more honorable than the 30, but he attained not to the first 3, and David set him over his guard. So these 30 mighty men of David, they were very, very physically strong, and it was the Most High giving them the strength that they need to overcome their enemies. Okay, when they was in the land of Israel. Okay, so the supernatural blessings of Yah, family, and we are Yah's chosen peculiar people, so we should be interested in these things that our Father has the ability to do for his people when we walk in obedience to him and keep his commandments. Nothing about materialistic things in this world, cars and bling bling and houses and stuff. Like I said before at the beginning of this message, Satan can give you that if you just bow down to him. But all the things in this world are quickly passing away. But the things from our Adonai are eternal. But we must be obedient to him and keep his commandments and keep that 4th commandment holy, that Sabbath day. Okay, Exodus chapter 23. Exodus chapter 23. And 2 more after this. Exodus chapter 23, verse 25 and 27. 25 through 27. And you shall serve the Adonai your Elohim, and he shall bless thy bread and thy water, and I will take sickness away from the midst of thee. You see that? And you shall serve the Adonai your Elohim, and he shall bless thy bread and thy water, and I will take sickness away from the midst of thee. He will take sickness from the midst of us. Okay? There shall nothing cast their young, nor be barren in thy land. The number of thy days I will fulfill. I will send my fear before thee, and I will destroy all the people to whom thou shalt come. And I will make all thy enemies turn their backs unto thee. They will be in flee mode. He will have our enemies to turn their backs to us. They will be fleeing from us. This is when we walk in obedience to what he has told us to do. Our ancestors walked in obedience with the covenant for a while, but like one generation passed, and then that generation that didn't know Yah like their fathers and mothers did, and then our nation would start sinning all over again. It would cause other nations to come and take them into captivity. And so that was just up and down history of the nation of Israel since we've been a people. But when we walk in obedience to him, all these supernatural blessings are just some of the things that he will do for us. And I thought it necessary that I share this with the people of Yah, the supernatural blessings. It's good that people are modest and we're not looking for nothing in return, but he has blessings for us when we walk into obedience. So we should be expecting good things from our Father when we obey him. There's nothing wrong with that. It says in Luke chapter 6, verse 38, if you give, it shall be given unto you, good measure, pressed down, shaken together, running over, men shall give it to your bosom. Just the same, when we walk in obedience to our Father, he will bless us. He will take sickness from us. He will have our enemies fleeing from us. Okay? The supernatural blessings of Yah. Okay, Job chapter 2, verse 23 and 28, then I'll be going to verse 32. And I'll be starting at verse 23 to 28. Book of Job, chapter 2, verse 23 to 28. Be glad, Then, ye children of Zion, and rejoice in the Adonai your Elohim, for he hath given you the former rain moderately, and it will cause to come down for you the rain, the former rain, and the latter rain in the first month, and the floors shall be full of wheat, and the fat shall overflow with wine and oil. And I will restore you the years that the cakeworm hath eaten, and the locust hath eaten, and the caterpillar and the palmerworm, my great army which I sent among you, and ye shall eat in plenty, and be satisfied, and praise the name of the Adonai your Elohim, that hath dealt wondrously with you. And my people shall never be ashamed, and they shall know that I am in the midst of Israel, and that I, the Adonai your Elohim, and none else. And my people shall never be ashamed. That's a supernatural blessing from Yah. We shall never be ashamed. Okay? And it shall come to pass afterward that I will pour out my spirit upon all flesh. You sons and your daughters shall prophesy, and your old men shall dream dreams, and young men shall see visions. And also upon the servants and upon the handmaids in those days will I pour out my spirit, and I will show wonders in the heavens and in the earth, blood and fire and pillars of smoke. The sun shall be turned into darkness, and the moon into blood, before the great and the terrible day of the Adonai come. And it shall come to pass that whosoever shall call on the name of the Adonai shall be delivered. For in Mount Zion and in Jerusalem shall be deliverance, as the Adonai hath said, and in the remnant whom the Adonai shall call. The remnant family, those of us who obey him. It's one thing to be an Israelite, to be a Hebrew, say we belong to the Father, but it's another thing to walk in disobedience to him. You see what happened to our ancestors, and it carried down to all of our generations, to now we're still the tail under our oppressors, who are still the head. They're at the helm of their fulfillment as being the head. So I truly believe and see that they are coming down and we're rising up. But okay, it says, and in the remnant whom the Adonai shall call. It's one thing to be a child of Yah, but we must be obedient and keep his commandments and keep that Sabbath day holy, that fourth commandment. That's why it says, okay, he will come and have his angels gather us, his elect, out of all the nations on the earth where we are scattered. But then it also says only a remnant of us and a remnant of the nations will be placed in our lands that he will give us. Okay, I truly believe that the Americas are the lands that he gave us, and I also believe parts of the Middle East are lands that we will own. Because when the Gentiles were high up in their power, England, who they used to call Great Britain because it was so mighty, and America, England once owned India, a large part of the continent of Africa. They owned Australia and Canada. And this was the blessings that the Adonai allowed them to have because our people had failed and went to the bottom. And America, owned Hawaii, Puerto Rico, different parts of the world. They still have a lot of influence in a lot of large parts of this world. Okay, so there's nothing to be debating about or arguing about as far as he did send the northern 10 tribes over here, and our people were the first to be here. But our oppressors lied to us and all that. And they said all of us came off of slave ships, but all of us did not come off slave ships. The 10 tribes were already here, and they were here first. Okay, so I believe that all of the Americas, and there's lots of history that our people were the first people here. So I believe that this land will be given back to us, North America, Central America, and South America, when Yah comes and make things right with these nations who scattered us around the world and parted our land. I believe the Americas will be given back to our people. And I also believe different parts of the world also will be ours, because the nations will be serving us at that time. The end of Esau is the beginning of Jacob. So it's nothing to be debating. And plus, parts of the Word of Yah says that, and there was no more sea. So he's going to get rid of all these large bodies of water that you can't drink anyway. And then it says flowers will spring out of the deserts. So there will be no more deserts when Yah comes and set up his kingdom on this earth. So there's going to be enough land for everybody to live and dwell and claim as their own once he give everybody what he chooses to give them. Okay, so that's that shouldn't even be no debate. He's going to change this whole place. No more seas, there'll be no more deserts. The sub-Saharan desert over there in Africa, it's about the same size as the United States. So when Yah comes, our Messiah, that will no longer be looking like that. You know, the desert out in Arizona in this country, you know, that's going to all be beautified land with flowers and springs of water. A lot of people will, you know, I mean, you know, this world now is for the many, but the next world is for the few, you know. But some people will have their glorified bodies when the Messiah comes, because it says in the book of John, 1 John, something that when we see him, we will become like him. And some people will be resurrected and given glorified bodies, and some people will still be in their fleshly bodies, scripture says. Repopulating the earth all over again. People of Yah. Yes, repopulating the earth all over again. And we will be living 1,000 years during the time when the Messiah comes back. Okay? Now, in closing, I'll be going in the book of Genesis. Genesis chapter 49, verse 8. Verse 8 and 10. Talking about supernatural blessings of Yah. Judah, thou art he whom thy brethren shall praise. Thy hand shall be in the neck of thine enemies. Thy father's children shall bow down before thee. The scepter shall not depart from Judah. So what this is saying a whole lot, but you have to understand what the word of Yah is saying. Judah, thou art he whom thy brethren shall praise. You know, there were 12 tribes. And these people who in Israel now calling themselves Jews, they read the word of Yah. They know that Judah was the strongest tribe out of all of the 12. The tribe of Judah, this is the tribe that produced our Messiah. The tribe of Judah is the tribe that produced King David. Okay? Thy father's children shall bow down before thee. The scepter shall not depart from Judah. So this is saying that the Messiah, when he comes, we will be in his midst, and he will be ruling the nations from Jerusalem, the tribe of Judah, the tribe that he came from. So I hope you got some understanding, and I hope I help to dispel some of the talk that's out there, saying that some of the 12 tribes of Israel did not come to this country off of slave ships, because if you believe that, then you're calling Yah a lie, because it says in Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 68, that we will be sent in bondage, Egypt, again, by ships. Okay, so the northern 10 tribes were here first, but the other 2 tribes, Judah and Levi, came later aboard ships, family. So this has been supernatural blessings of Yah. I hope you got some understanding in Yah's name. So until next time, may Yah bless you and your families. I'm Brother Judah Israel. Stay safe and shalom.